Oh, I love purple.
Excuse me. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight?
Hey everybody, it's Louis, and we are on take 4. So, I am the 5-take man, and we are on 4 takes, hell yeah. Today's not a good day. I woke up tired, and despite having a nice large coffee, and I'm currently drinking some Arizona tea, my mind is a little bit scattered. So it's just one of those days. Either didn't sleep well, didn't get enough sleep. I can't really say, but I'm just going to have to suppress my desire to go off on tangents as it relates to this Goodyear issue and try to stick to the issue to the best of my ability. So there are a variety of things that I do want to talk about as it relates to this Goodyear issue, because this, to me, is another absolute fumble on the right. This is another golden opportunity. It's the golden ball or the torch passed to somebody on the right, or the right generally. Fuck your metaphors, fuck my metaphor. This is a missed opportunity. And it's just like every missed opportunity, because the fundamental weakness of the right is the inability to, one, get past its own ideological hang-ups and its fundamental inability to organize around anything that is not getting Boeing or Lockheed Martin more defense contracts. Like, there is a right-wing apparatus politically, but it's just like 3 offices. You know, we need Israel getting some more defense money. We need Boeing and Lockheed Martin getting more contracts. And, I mean, the 3rd office is probably we need to start more wars we can't win. Those are the 3 offices within the right-wing party machinery. And that's it. That's about it. So when it comes to culture issues, there is no organization on the right. There is zero messaging, zero ability. You know, spin doctors and gurus and politicos, there is nobody to organize anything on the right. So Goodyear is like, here is the golden opportunity that utterly represents the issue at hand in culture in America. Here is a perfect example of what is wrong. Go. And the right wing just, boom, falls on its face instantly, like a Family Guy joke, okay? A skit in Family Guy, it's just that. Falls on its face and lays there and can do absolutely nothing. And the reason is, it's no one person's fault. It's the fact that on the right, there is no apparatus. There is no organization. So the people in the media are already saying that this is a boycott. There's no boycott without organization. There is no boycott without consensus. There is no boycott without the messaging of, here is a boycott, here's what we're going to do. Let's find a corporation. Let's call some corporations. Hey, are you in favor of political bigotry? No political messaging for our shit. And we're not telling our employees that it's okay to discriminate or anything like that. Trust us. We'll give you an example. Here's a PDF of our, bullshit for bringing in new hires and training them. No political bigotry here. We're not left-wing or right-wing corporation. We're just neutral. There you go. It's easy to do. It's easy to organize that. All it needs is like an office of people to call some companies to figure out an alternative to Goodyear, and then hammer. Everyone gets on message. Everyone gets on point. Everyone discusses it. It's talked about in every right-wing circle. It's actually organized as a boycott, not just randomly, vaguely, what the fuck ever this is. And then you pursue it. This could be effective. Because every time Trump negatively tweets about some corporation, some company, some organization, whatever, anything that's involved in business, whenever Trump talks about a company negatively, this is another example of him doing it, and the stock takes a shit. And the alternatives, the other companies in that market, peak up a little bit in terms of their stock. It's not a lot in terms of a drop. It's not a lot in terms of the other corporations benefiting. But what it does is it shows the capacity for just one tweet by the president to change the market. The problem is that this is a guaranteed opportunity for the right that is passed on. It's passed on because, hey, this isn't about getting Israel some more money. This isn't about getting Boeing or Lockheed Martin another contract. This isn't, actively pushing the media or trying to, push the president himself into us bombing another country. So we don't have an office. We don't have an office for this. There's no organization. There's no apparatus. There's nothing here. It's just vague nonsense about Goodyear. It's vague nonsense about a boycott, even though I haven't seen anyone talking about a boycott other than from the left-wing media. They're the ones talking about a boycott. But the fact is, an actual boycott requires organization. It requires you to actually figure out an alternative. Figure out and message what the problem really is, so that you tell other corporations, including other tire corporations, what not to do. If you want to benefit, do X. If you don't want to have our ire and us organize against you, don't do this. Because you have none of that, then nothing's going to happen. This is going to be like every other time something like this has occurred. And over the years, especially during Trump's tenure, this has happened over and over and over and over again, where you've been given the opportunity to organize something, and there is no organization. There is no messaging. There is no circulation of a memo. There's nothing. It's just Trump puts out a tweet, people bitch on Twitter, nothing occurs. The stock prices of the individual company go back up, boom, it's over with. Missed opportunity again. And as far as I can tell, this is today's issue, but the fact remains, I don't expect anything to come of this. I don't think that anything is going to come of this because there simply is no organization to do anything. So that is the primary thrust of this commentary. It is to say that on the right, there is no apparatus for the culture war. There is no organization for the culture war. This is a fight we need to fight, but there is no apparatus. There is nothing. And so we lose every fucking time on these issues. Every fucking corporation is being taken over by left-wing activists. But we can do nothing. We can do absolutely nothing because there simply is no office, no apparatus, no nothing for us to organize and be in any way effective. The stock price that took a shit is going to rebound fucking tomorrow when nothing occurs from this. When there is no boycott. Because no boycott is actually organized. Even though, again, let's get into it. This is the perfect fucking opportunity. Because this could not be more immoral. Goodyear in their training. I think this was for warehousing, but it's probably included for the entire company. I doubt it's just one branch of this company doing this. Because from my experience in a big corporation, usually there are two different ways of being trained. There is the subsidiary training, and then there's the parent company training. And this is the kind of thing that you would see in a parent company training. So this could be some third-party warehouse or whatever the fuck it was. It doesn't matter. If its parent company is Goodyear, then you will be briefed in this capacity. This has been my direct experience in a corporate environment. As it relates to political issues within Goodyear, they have a zero-tolerance policy on what you are allowed to do, what you're allowed to display, what you're allowed to say, and how you represent yourself within the company, on the job. According to Goodyear, it is acceptable to be pro-Black Lives Matter openly in terms of what you display and what you say within the company. And that encompasses a whole lot, as all of us know, when it comes to Black Lives Matter. It's not a small thing. It's not just, I don't hate black people. It's a lot of Marxist bullshit that is under the umbrella of Black Lives Matter. The second is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender pride, LGBT. That, again, encompasses everything from some bullshit decision by the Supreme Court in 2015 all the way to drag kids. So everything from, yes, two women should be allowed to be legally recognized by the system, by the apparatus, all the way to pro-pedophilia. LGBT encompasses a lot of shit. It isn't just one decision by the Supreme Court in June of 2015. On the other side, you have unacceptable. This being a zero-tolerance policy, meaning you cannot say this, You cannot portray this. You cannot wear any kind of paraphernalia, symbolism, anything as it relates to these topics. Blue lives matter. So that is very specific, and it only deals with supporting police. That's the one issue of Blue Lives Matter. I'm pro-cops. That's it. There's nothing more to it than that. I've never heard one word from anybody who says Blue Lives Matter or has a pro-cop, American flag on their car or house or whatever. It's just, I support the police. That's it. It's a one-button issue. That's the only tenet to it. All lives matter. So this, to me, is the perfect example. This is the absolute perfect example of everyone that says all lives matter. Because I don't say all lives matter. I say criminal lives don't matter. So you might say all lives matter. That's not what I say, because I don't think all lives matter. I think criminal lives don't matter. But the people who do say all lives matter, often, not always, but often, they are the ones that say the left is wrong, the right is wrong, I'm in the center. I'm a centrist. I think I'm this galaxy-brained, woke asshole, unironically woke asshole, who sees the bad on the right, sees the bad on the left, and I'm here in the center. Well, guess what, faggot? You're also on our side because you're now being lumped together with us. This is the problem with the dipshit centrists. Is when push comes to shove, a lot of these people, and you can name names, I've talked about them before, a lot of these people will just slip to the left. Because when they're pressured, they'll go, oh, fuck, I know that if I don't give in, I'm going to be dumped into people like me. We're all going to be in a pile together. Because when it comes to the left, you're either with them or against them. That's the only way it is. And you know that you don't want to be with us, or you're afraid of being against them, so you say, oh, no, I'm with them. And so you'll just back their bullshit, as it is with so many of these people. And again, not going to name any names, but I'm sure you know a few of who you could give it as an example of this. Of so-called centrists who, when pressured, default left. Not because they really hold any real beliefs, but because they're afraid that they're going to get ostracized, they're going to get fucking canceled, or whatever. They're just afraid of being anything but within the status quo, within the in-group of what is politically acceptable. They're afraid of it. They're terrified. So they'll say what they need to say to not be one of us, basically. But I reiterate that all lives matter is not a partisan statement. It is not just a right-wing rhetoric or a retort to Black Lives Matter. Because I don't say all lives matter. If you are, like, let's say you're all the way to the extreme of just a total pacifist pussy where you want to try to save every life possible, and even in the case where you have an officer who's shooting down a fucking deranged, foaming at the mouth, feral fucking criminal who's attempting to murder them, you're still like that pacifist pussy. Oh, no, the cops should do something different. You're that kind of person. And I would say that kind of person is all lives matter kind of person. You're a pacifist pussy. You're turning the other cheek as the criminal is stabbing you to death. Those people exist. And I can understand what they believe and why they believe it and that sort of thing, but I am simply not that person. But despite that, despite you and I having such a fundamental philosophical difference, such a fundamental different worldview, despite that mutually exclusive difference, antithetical difference, you and I are being grouped together. Why? Because it's not about all lives matter or some lives don't matter. It's Black Lives Matter. That's the only position you can take. And I'm going to give you a spoiler here. When you say Black Lives Matter, whether it's the average jerk-off on the street or the organization itself, you better believe that when they say that, it means white lives don't matter. You better believe that that's the fucking point. Because holy shit. I mean, do you need any more examples of people getting skull-fucked in the street to realize that that's the fucking point? That is their fucking position. That is what they believe. And they are violent. I'm not even saying that just rhetorically. They are violent. And they will kill you if you do not say what they want you to say. There was an example of this when Michael Tracy, who is a left-leaning independent journalist, he was going around the West Coast and shit, and he was just talking to people about the riots. He was just talking to random people. He did a Medium post on it. He went on Tucker Carlson. He talked about it. And it's just independent journalism, him talking to people about the riots. And he's left-leaning, to be clear. He's just disenchanted or disillusioned with the left. But he's still a leftist, as far as I can tell. He was on the street. He got confronted by some BLM rioters, and they told him to say Black Lives Matter. And he said, okay, Black Lives Matter, and they chased him away. He's running, and they're chasing after him. And because he's not with them, they chase him. And they would have fucking killed him. Michael Tracy can say whatever, oh, the left and all this, he's still on their side, they're still okay. No, bro, they were going to murder you. They were going to straight up murder you. If they had the opportunity, they would have murdered you. Even when you said Black Lives Matter, they were going to murder your ass. Because it has come down to, you're either on the side of BLM or you're dead. In terms of how they conduct themselves, they're no different to Antifa, who is objectively a terror group. Like, there's no real difference in terms of how they behave. So it's not even controversial. And unfortunately, it's just a matter of the right and their inability to get on point, on message, and say that no, this is an actual terror organization. They are engaging in terrorism. They are doing this, and it is the definition of terrorism. It is violence to pursue political policy. They are using intimidation and violence to push people to say what they want them to say, like it was with Michael Tracy. They get violent with him, they get confrontation with him, and they say Black Lives Matter. That's terrorism. That is terrorism. Anyone who still believes in philosophical liberalism, those of us that are left, that haven't just abdicated every fucking belief for the sake of the safety of not being beaten by a communist or a fucking black guy. So fuck it all. Just fuck everything. Just dispel everything. Just, I'm throwing away every conceivable principle I ever claimed to hold, every value I ever claimed to hold. Throw it all away. Just don't hurt me. And there's a lot of people like that. Those of us that are left don't need to inflict violence on anybody outside of criminals to get across what we believe. We don't need to do that. And it's not right by our value to do that. Terrorism by our values is wrong. By our principles is wrong. The point being, though, to bring this back, is that I am not trying to create the chasm. These people on the opposite side are the ones that have created this chasm. They've created this division. They've created this black or white atmosphere of you're with us or you're against us. They have done this. And you need to choose. You need to choose. Ultimately, whether you're with me and we're just on the outs, we're not going to get a job at Goodyear, we're just fucked in the corporate environment because we're not evil and we're not willing to abide by evil, or you're with them. And I'm not setting those terms, they are. Those are the choices. And I'm not just sitting here telling you, because a lot of people say, no, I'm not on either side, I'm in the middle. No, there is no middle. There is no fucking middle. If you're in the middle, if you're all lives matter, you're pushed to my side. You're with us, even if you claim otherwise. There is no choice in that way for you to be neutral. There is no way. They won't allow you to be neutral. The next on the list is MAGA attire, which is just political representation for the Republican Party. You could say it's just for Trump. No, it's for the Republican Party. The Republican Party is the party of Trump. I don't know how many times I need to say it, but that's just the fact of the matter. I'm not even saying that as just a blanket endorsement of Trump. I've been critical of Trump. I remain critical of Trump. I think his campaign for 2020 is a fucking disaster. And it seems that a lot of people realize why that's the case. That messaging-wise, policy-wise, he's all over the fucking place. His whole team, his whole administration is fucking bouncing around on every fucking issue. This year has been abysmal for his campaigning. Sometimes he makes a good point, or he has a good speech, or he is consistent for 5 fucking minutes in his rhetoric. Outside of that 5 minutes, it's been disastrous for him. So I'm not like a dick sucker for Trump. The way that I feel, when I pull the lever for Trump, it's going to be like pulling the lever on a fucking slot machine. Like, I hope it comes up all sevens, and I'm just lucky that I get what I want. But because with Trump, who the fuck knows? Say whatever you want to about him. He's not consistent. He might be good on a variety of issues, trade, foreign policy. Like, there's issues specifically that he's decent on. But when it comes to U.S. policy domestically, when it comes to, anything revolving around the culture war, this dude is all over the fucking place. His whole administration has been a disaster in that front. And this year, especially when it comes to immigration, this cocksucker has been taking L after L after L. Say whatever you want to about, these specific numbers and this specific policy. This dude's been taking L's all year. And he's been inconsistent as a motherfucker this year. Say whatever. I don't give a fuck. That's the fact. Irrespective of how I feel, how you feel, the Republican Party is the party of Trump. You're on the Trump train or you're being left behind. That is the fact. And so when it comes to MAGA attire, which I don't really see that common anymore, I see signs in people's yards for Trump and that, and some Trump paraphernalia on people's trucks and stuff. But in terms of MAGA attire itself, like shirts, hats, that sort of thing, I don't really see a lot of that. It's pretty rare that I see anyone wearing a MAGA hat. Like, you gotta go to some fucking rural parts of this state to see some of that shit. But around my area, I don't see anything. And it's not like I'm seeing pro-Biden shit either. I don't really see a lot of people wearing a lot of political shit right now. Even though it's fucking August. It's almost September. I see Trump signs. That's it. That's all I see. That's about it. Trump flags on people's poles. Trump shit on people's cars. That's about it. And I imagine that MAGA attire is going to be a wide net. It's going to be a widely cast net. It's not just going to be Make America Great Again or Keep America Great or I'm pro-Trump 2020, Trump 2020, Trump 2016. It's not going to be that. It's going to be I'm pro-America. America first. It's going to be anything patriotic. I guarantee it. Because when it comes to the left, and left-wing activism and corporations, and find me an example otherwise. You can find plenty of examples proving my point. Find me an example proving otherwise to what I'm about to say. Give the left an inch, they take a mile. And in HR, is it going to be a small scope or is it going to be a wide scope in terms of what is limited? I guarantee it's going to be anything pro-America. Even down to just a shirt with an American flag. I guarantee you will have left-wing partisan bigots, political bigots, within this corporation that report fellow employees for having an American flag shirt or something equivalent. They'll go to HR, they'll file a complaint, they'll look at this policy, and they'll say, yes, it is a violation. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. And there's so many examples of this happening before, where anything that is conceivably nationalistic, let alone nativistic, anything even resembling patriotism or nationalism, that will be included in so-called MAGA attire. I could ask one of you for an example, because I've already had this happen before. Someone's going to message me on fucking Facebook and say, yes, this happened to me. Yes, I saw this in my own experience in my company. I've had several people write me in email, over Facebook, whatever, over the past few years, especially since 2016, where they've told me they've seen political bigotry at their workplace. They've seen it directly. I've gotten at least a dozen or so messages from different people over the last few years talking about this particular issue of political bigotry within companies. And as I always say, it only goes one way. And then finally, it's this political affiliated slogans or material. But the fact is that is contradicted by the acceptable portions of LGBT and Black Lives Matter. Those are specifically political. They are political. You can't just say, oh no, they're pro-civil rights. So is MAGA. So is MAGA. When you're talking about free speech, pro-gun, whatever, immigration, any of the things about, sovereignty of the nation, all of those things are political, and all of them are about civil rights. As a citizen, they're all the same. So when it comes to LGBT, when it comes to BLM, You could say there's civil rights, so is everything on the right. Same thing. Same thing, and they're all political. So this is the issue with discrimination. It is discriminatory. That's what the employee said who saw this, who took this picture. He's right. This is discriminatory. Objectively so. Both sides are political, but within this corporation, only one side is acceptable in terms of your speech and in terms of your expression through the shit you wear. Buttons or whatever. Symbols that you put on yourself. Your person. This is an open and shut case here, ladies and gentlemen. This is an easy example of a partisan issue with a corporation. And a corporation who is endorsing a partisan agenda within the corporation. That if you are an employee and you are right-wing in any capacity, or even centrist with All Lives Matter, you're anything but left-wing within this fucking corporation, well, your two choices are endorse what we say, endorse BLM and fucking LGBT, drag queen pedophilia, or shut the fuck up, or we're gonna fire you. Or maybe you go in there like a simp, wearing a BLM shirt, you're a right-winger, but you're like, oh, Black Lives Matter, you put your head down, I want to keep my job, I got kids, I got a family, I got a mortgage, put my head down. You are told, Black Lives Matter, and you say, yeah, Black Lives Matter, I got kids, please, I need this job. Because I think there's going to be a lot of that. Oh, man. I got kids. I got a family. I need this job. Well, you need it now when the fucking economy's shit. That's for sure. The job market in my area hasn't fucking improved. As far as I know, the unemployment numbers are exactly as they were. Even though they got rid of the $400 or the $600, the Trump bucks, those expired a fucking month ago. And the unemployment numbers are still the fucking same. Because the job market in this area is still shit. So yeah, you keep that job. You put your head down. Because right now, my God, is the fucking job market awful. So let's get to Trump's tweet just to cite it. He says, don't buy Goodyear tires. They announced a ban on MAGA hats. Get better tires for far less. This is what the radical left Democrats do. Two can play the same game. And we have to start playing it now. I agree. So this is an issue with Trump, but the fact is that he's punting. Punt that ball, Trump. Punt it away. Woo! There it goes, and it's gone. Just lost in the rough. Gone forever. Lost in the weeds. Never to be seen again. Punt that fucking issue, Trump. That's right. Do what you do best. But this is the issue, in and of itself, where everybody punts. And no one wants to take responsibility. No one wants to organize this. And the fact is that unfortunately, I'm not in any position to do it myself because I don't have any organization and I don't have any following. I got 20K subs. That's fucking it. The issue is for myself that I'm just not politically influential. I don't have anyone that I could reach out to organize or to help me organize this in any meaningful capacity that could actually affect anything. It requires that you actually know some beltway jerk-offs. It requires you that you have a decent-sized platform that other people respect and are aware of at least. That way you can actually galvanize some attention, get some people on board and reach out and talk to this person. Get the story on Tucker Carlson. Get on Tucker Carlson yourself or Hannity or somebody's show. Go on fucking Rush Limbaugh. You get these people involved so that you spread the message and then you galvanize support. You reach out to these companies, you figure out which one isn't politically bigoted, then you push it for that. Push their stock up. Push sales for them. That way there's an alternative that makes it constructive. So that way you teach Goodyear a lesson. Get rid of this shit or you're going to pay the price. And that way it teaches all the other corporations that if they push this too far, the right wing is going to be activated. So-and-so is going to lead a boycott and we're going to kill your stock price. We're going to kill your sales. We're going to make you look like bigots. We're going to make you look, maybe there's a lawsuit. You do as much damage as possible. That way you teach the lesson that neutrality is the way to go. If you're a big-ass corporation, neutrality is the only option. Don't touch politics. Leave it the fuck alone. Don't be politically bigoted. Don't propagandize and terrorize your own employees or new hires. Leave these issues alone. Focus on fucking tires. So I'm not particularly motivated to involve myself in this in any capacity because I honestly don't really give a fuck about Goodyear and tires or whatever. But this is another golden opportunity wasted. This is yet another example of why the right fails. Why they fail to achieve their desired results in the culture war. Because they don't have the organization, they don't have the apparatus necessary to make this work, and they don't have the actual long-term thinking and strategy to gain any fucking ground in the culture war. Any ground that's won is just ceded by the left. It's just ground that the left wing abandons and the right just rolls onto, and it's like, hey, look, we got something. But in terms of taking ground, it's not possible. It's not possible when there's no apparatus, there's no organization. I will get to their reply. Let me see if I can find it. And I've seen people like, who is it, Cernovich and others, who realize that this is bullshit. This is total bullshit. So here's Goodyear's response to all the people on the right complaining, okay? Yesterday, Goodyear became the focus of a conversation that created some misconceptions about our policies and our company. Goodyear has always wholeheartedly supported both equality and law enforcement and will continue to do so. That's not the fucking point. That's not the point, Goodyear, and I'm pretty sure that this is deflection, diversion, dodge, duck, dodge, dive, you know, that good meme from Dodgeball. So let's read the actual message within the message. It says, a message from Goodyear to our customers, partners, and associates. Yesterday, Goodyear became the focus of a conversation that created some misconceptions about our policies in our company. For those not aware, a widely circulated image sparked a strong reaction. We wanted to take the opportunity to provide some important context to the visual and our policies. So that sentence is an admission that this is an actual policy. This is that slide is something from Goodyear. Because you wouldn't say it's an opportunity to provide important context to the visual and our policies if it were false. You wouldn't say that if the image was fake, Photoshop, something like that. You wouldn't say this if that was a fake image. This is an admission that the slide is true. First, the visual in question was not created or distributed by Goodyear Corporate, nor was it part of diversity training class. That's not the fucking claim. So again, deflection, diversion. This is just misinformation. It wasn't created or distributed by Goodyear Corporate. And if it has the Goodyear symbol on it, that's all that matters. Just because they didn't create the fucking policy doesn't mean it's not implemented by Goodyear Corporate. Who's to say it isn't some third-party fucking crap company that's created this policy for you that you have implemented? So just because you didn't create it doesn't change the fact that it's fucking policy. That's what fucking matters. And like I said before, I believe this to be part of being a new hire. So when they say it's not part of a diversity training class, well, one, that doesn't mean that there aren't diversity training classes in your company. And two, that's not what the claim is. The claim is that it's part of being a new hire at your company. And you're not negating that. You're not saying otherwise. So this is just colored for legalese to navigate your way through the truth, which is this is a policy within your company. To be clear on our long-standing corporate policy, Goodyear has a zero-tolerance policy for any forms of harassment or discrimination. You have a policy in favor of harassment and discrimination. If you see any of the things that are listed there, you are going to be harassed by corporate. You are going to be harassed by your coworkers, and you will be discriminated against by the company. That is policy within the company. The problem is that you're just projecting. You're projecting what is being claimed. To enable a work environment free of those, we ask that associates refrain from workplace expressions in support of political campaigning for any candidate or political party, as well as similar forms of advocacy that fall outside the scope of racial justice and equity issues. Well, isn't that just the biggest admission that everything that is being said about you is in fact true? Isn't this just, case in point, a silver bullet to show that objectively this is what is being claimed by the right against this corporation is true? Because you know enough to not only say racial justice in terms of BLM, but equity. Not even equality, that bullshit misnomer. Equity issues. Well, the only person that is concerned with equity are fucking communists. Not even just the dipshit centrists that are like, oh, equality, blah, blah, blah. Oh, material equality, what? I'm so stupid. No, equity. Who the fuck says equity other than communists? Who? Who? Name the group. Who the fuck talks about equity? Who? Other than communists. Name it. Type it out in the comment section for me. Who the fuck is talking about equity? Other than straight up communists. Seriously. Second, we appreciate the diverse viewpoints of... Give me a fucking break. You can't say shit in our workplace or we're gonna fire your fucking ass. But we appreciate your fucking viewpoints. Yeah, right. We appreciate the diverse viewpoints of all of our more than 60,000 associates, including all the fucking chinks we got in China making our shit, which are at the heart of the many of the policies that we establish. What if you're against equity and racial justice, which is the legalization of the beating of whites and reparations? What the fuck is racial justice other than a tolerance or total legalization of violence towards whites and reparations paid by everybody? What the fuck is racial justice? What is it? Say what it is. Legalization of criminality so long as you're fucking black. What the fuck is racial justice? Fostering an inclusive, respectful workplace is important to establish teamwork and build culture. Meaningless. Which is another reason we ask associates not to engage in political campaigning of any kind in the workplace, which, again, for any candidate, party, or political organization, bull fucking shit. You have BLM in the fucking thing. You have Black Lives Matter in the slide. It's just a blatant lie. That isn't even like you trying to deflect away or you trying to navigate using rhetoric. You're just lying. This is just a straight up provable lie. Unbelievable. Third and finally, Goodyear has always wholeheartedly supported both equality, now you're saying equality, and law enforcement and will continue to do so. These are not mutually exclusive. Well, I think they are because criminal lives don't matter. We have heard from some of you that believe Goodyear is anti-police after... Well, no, I think you're anti-police and anti-white. And anti-right. I think that's pretty much what it boils down to. You're lying about anti-police. I think that within your HR, within your corporate environment, corporate culture, you are, in fact, anti-police. But at the same time, you're also anti-white. I don't hear a lot of fucking, black people just need more welfare. That's the problem. Black people just need more welfare. I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing fuck whitey. I hear a lot of that when it comes to Black Lives Matter. I don't hear a lot of just more Gibbs. Give me some more Gibbs. I hear a lot of fuck whites. Fuck America and fuck whites. That's what I hear a lot of. That's baked into a lot of the rhetoric. So the question is that just the rhetoric or is that the official policy? Whether it's written or not. So don't give me this it's just the anti-police thing that people are taking issue with. Nah, I think it has a lot to do with the racial issue. And a lot to do with the issue of being right-wing in any capacity. I would say those are two components that people have a far greater issue with than just the fucking police. Fuck the police. I don't give a fuck about the police. You know, if all the police unions want to go out there and kneel before the people that are going to fucking kill them the next day, go for it. I don't give a fuck. You want to go kneel to the criminals? By all means, go for it. I don't give a fuck. It's your life on the line, not mine. But the fact is that the issue is your bigotry towards the right and your bigotry towards whites. That's the greater issue here, in my view. If the police unions want to speak up and take issue, go for it, but I'm not their fucking reps. Hire me then. Give me a fucking job. Unless I'm getting a fucking paycheck, I don't give a fuck about this policing issue. There's far too many examples of police kneeling to these fucking assholes and caving in. It's only a handful of police and police representatives, the unions, that are in any fucking capacity speaking up, in any way talking about this issue. It's so fucking few. So go away, fuck it, I don't give a shit. But as it relates to these other issues, no, that's where I'm going to speak up and say that this is wrong. because I know what the outcome's going to be. It's going to be the harassment, the discrimination, and the bigotry towards the right and anybody who's white. That's the kind of corporate culture you're going to be actively promoting within your dumb fucking company. And it's wrong. It's morally wrong to be doing this. But this is going to be the outcome, unless we organize. These are not mutually exclusive. We heard from some of you that believe Goodyear's anti-police after reacting to the visual. Nothing could be further from the truth. Yeah, they got some tires to sell some fucking locals. Some local precincts. They got some tires to sell. And we have the utmost appreciation for the valid work police do on behalf of our shared communities. That this can't be said strongly enough. Like I said, that is just deflection. That is just total deflection from the other issues. This is the perfect fucking opportunity, and this response could not be a bigger fucking lie. Could not be a bigger lie to what was found, what was exposed about this company. You drop it and let it slide, or you take up the flag and make this an issue. And I'm not going to start it. I'm not starting any fucking petitions. I'm not raising any flags. I'm not doing fuck all because I got no audience. I am nobody. And I know nobody. So there is jack shit that I can do. But the fact is, there are plenty of people on the right that have an audience, that know everybody, and that have a direct line to the fucking president. This is your fucking issue to take up. This is your issue to organize around. And if you want me to sign a petition, if you want me to do a video, I'll do it. But I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I know nobody. I got nothing at my disposal to do anything about this. I can do nothing other than sign my name and talk about it. That's as much as I can fucking do. But there are people that have money, they got power, they got influence, they know fucking everyone in the Beltway. They can make this a fucking issue. Will they? Or is this going to be like every other time where they drop it? Couple days, the news cycle changes, and then maybe this happens again next week. Or during the weekend. Another issue exactly like this comes up again, and it's the same fucking deal again. Everyone drops it. It's done. The organization is the problem. Organization, taking up the flag, creating the issue itself to campaign around, pushing this around, going on people's shows, making calls, getting people to speak about it in Congress, campaigning around it, organizing around it, trying to push policy over it to threaten these companies and companies like them. You either do something or you do nothing. And I'm sick and tired of everyone, starting at Trump, going all the way down to people like me. But the fact is, I can't do anything. There's a lot of people in between me and Trump. Stop punting these fucking issues. Stop punting these problems. Somebody, anybody that has any kind of influence, any kind of audience, or who knows anybody within politics, somebody pick up the fucking banner. Somebody organize. For Christ's sake. Any fucking outlets, any fucking person that knows somebody can do something with this. But it's a question of who and when. Who and when and what issue, man. Fuck. This is a perfect opportunity. This is just a classic. Another great case for you to capitalize on. This is just a perfect example of what is wrong, everything that is wrong in this country. You got partisan corporations discriminating against the right and pushing a left-wing agenda within the company. And is anybody going to do anything? Anyone going to make an issue of it? Anyone going to talk and make a phone call? Fucking anything? Anyone can do anything. I'd like to see something for once. I'd like to see somebody organize something. That would be great. But I'm not holding my breath. Because it seems like, again, there's just some assholes blowing smoke on Twitter. That's not a fucking petition. That's not a boycott. That's not organization. You bitching on Twitter, that's not anything. That's you doing what I'm doing here. And the fact is, again, I'm nobody that knows nobody, that has nothing, and has a tiny as fuck audience. Anyways, I'll wait for people to complain that I should do something in the comments below. But thanks for listening.